What's going on, guys? Raider Nation. First of all, I'd like to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Anyone who's watching this, Christmas is actually one of my favorite times of the year, and it's really a time that shouldn't be taken for granted. People I know treat it like it's another day, but there's more to life than sports, and Christmas is one of those holidays I really cherish and enjoy it. There's really life is short sometimes. It can be viewed that way. This year in review, somewhat depressing with the recent tragedies that have happened in this world. Headlines, and then even with the Raiders, Dennis Allen lost his father, and Terrell Williams, our defensive line coach, lost his 4-year-old son this year. Real rest in peace to them. Also, of course, the end of the NFL, that homicide tragedy that happened. Really, just a sad year in that sense. Life is short. Just remember that, guys. Whether I know football is losing sucks, but there's a lot more to that than just football. On to the game, though. Raiders are playing the Chargers this week. This is really a game that obviously no one's going to care about unless you're a fan of either team. This game could even be blacked out in the San Diego area. Wouldn't surprise me if it is. The Chargers have had more TV blackouts than the Raiders this year. Raiders have only had one. I think the Chargers have had 3, maybe 4. I'm not sure, but I know they've had more than one this season. Very disappointing year. Who would have thought this game would mean nothing in the big picture? That really means nothing. Chargers, I said before, a disappointing year. This should be the end of the Norv Turner era. Last game going in. Really, obviously, I'm not going to say go thrilled if they win this game or not, but sure, it wouldn't hurt to win, just because to say you play to win the game, put a damper on Norv Turner's last game as a Chargers head coach. Us as Raider fans know what he did with us, and he's taken the Chargers a step backward every season, from going to the AFC Championship game to the divisional playoff round, suddenly going one and done after going, I think, 13-3 that one year, 11-game win streak to going one and done. Then he goes to a winning record and no playoffs, to a 500 record and no playoffs, and then now a losing record and no playoffs. It's 3 straight seasons, 3 straight years for the Chargers of no postseason, and I never thought they'd have a losing record. Their defense is somewhat improved, but at the same time, they've given up plays. Offensively is really where there's a lot of woes. Haven't gotten the same type of offensive production from the running game. That's been a problem for them. Phillip Rivers is not the Phillip Rivers of 3 or 4 years ago. He's thrown some picks in crunch time. He's been really unclutch. I know they've won some games this year. I'm not saying they're completely horrible, but from the expectations they had, they were supposed to be a lot better. And it's all about motivation. Who's motivated to win this game? Obviously, Norv Turner probably is. He wants to save his job. They've won 2 out of the last 3. I'll give some credit where credit's due, but people might be wondering, where was that earlier from the Chargers? Where was that winning before? Because they found creative ways to lose games in the big moments this year, and they're going to join most of this league on the couch. The other 20 teams that will be on the playoff couch, Chargers are going to be one of them. So, really going into this game, I just want to see Terrell Pryor get playing time. Don't really care how good or bad he plays in terms of production. He can throw 5 interceptions, and I'm not even going to be mad about it. Just, you got to get playing experience. And I don't know why Dennis Allen is denying, he's not ready. We're putting in Matt Leinart. Really, there's no upside. We don't learn anything when we put in Matt Leinart. Honestly, it's not like we're playing a playoff spoiler role. Carson Palmer obviously out for this game, and I really feel bad that I think it's broken ribs he had from the game against the Panthers. Really a dirty game, looking back, just penalty fest. That was ugly. Terrell Pryor's got to get playing time. I don't care how bad he does and how he's not ready. Playing experience is really more important than exactly winning at this point. You just got to give him playing time in a real game, because you're not going to get to see him, with the exception of OTAs and training camp and just practice. You got to see what they do. You got to see what players do, and he's got to be playing. Really, though, let's just look back, and that's about all I got to say on this game. Looking back on the season, a big discussion question I'd have for you, the viewers: who's the biggest surprise and who's the biggest disappointment this year in terms of teams? I'll answer both questions. For me, the biggest surprise, you could argue the Colts and Redskins, but I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks here, and the reason why is because no one thought Russell Wilson would be leading the Seahawks to where they are. They already have 10 wins. The third-round draft pick that, believe it or not, a punter was taken before him. I think Brian Anger, Cal Bears punter, was taken by Jacksonville. The spot before him, Russell Wilson, a punter. And Russell Wilson's been amazing. He's been a very, I guess, clutch quarterback. He's made big plays for them. And he's only going to get better. I mean, since the second half of the year, he's been very efficient. Touchdown to turn, interception ratio, and the Seahawks defensively has kept themselves in the game. They're going to be in the postseason this year. So I really think the Seahawks, biggest surprise to me. I did not see them anywhere close. I thought they'd be 7-9, 6-10, third best team in the NFC West. That's where I had them pegged. So defensively, they got a very good future. Pete Carroll's done amazing things out there, and they were a trendy pick by a lot of experts to be a surprise team, and they lived up to it. They're going to be in the postseason. So that's my biggest surprise. Biggest disappointment this year, it's going to be a tie between the San Diego Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. I think both of those teams were expected to be a lot better than what they are. First off, the Chargers, I already mentioned, they already have a losing record. It's bad in itself, but people can laugh at me now. I had the Chargers winning the division. I thought the Chargers offensively would have gotten their heads together. Thought they'd be better. Ryan Matthews was going to be better. I know he's hurt, and hope his career is not over. But their offense has not been good. They did improve their defense. They drafted to improve their defense, and I thought they would be challenging the Broncos for the division. But they did not recover once they blew that fat lead against the Broncos. I think it was week 6 or week 7. Where they had like a 3-score lead and they let it all collapse at home against the Broncos. They haven't recovered from that game, and it's gone downhill since then for the Chargers. People expected them, or not everybody, but people expected them to at least have a winning record. And for the other side, the Chiefs, no one had them where they are at 2-13. Yeah. People won't understand this, but they have a defense that can keep them in games, and their defense is legit. But offensively, they've made way too many mistakes. I didn't think you'd see them play as bad as they are. I guess Brian Dable, not a good offensive coordinator. Chiefs, to me, they were also expected to contend for the division. There was an argument for every team that's not named the Raiders to win the AFC West. Chiefs were supposed to be that young, up-and-coming team, and they took a major step backwards offensively and just making mistakes after mistakes in games. Typically, they have luck on their side, and it hasn't happened this year. So, Chiefs, Chargers, that combination, my biggest disappointment this year. Nobody expected the Broncos to just run away the way they are with the division. Unless you're a delusional Peyton Manning fan, even Bronco fans didn't expect everyone else in the AFC West to have a losing record. I expected at least the other two teams that weren't the Raiders to actually be competitive, and Broncos just ran away with it. So those are my disappointments and my surprises. Let me know what you guys think, and at least put some argument. Don't just write the team and who you think. I'd like to see some argument and details in the comments below. Other brief discussion here. Hiroyuki Nagajima coming to Oakland. The A's made a couple moves. Chris Young is acquired through trade in the outfield, and Hiroyuki Nagajima, after Stephen Drew takes a deal somewhere else, the A's go fill their shortstop void with a Japanese player who hasn't been in the league before. The Yankees tried to sign him at one point, but that failed and fell through. Let me know what you guys think about the A's shortstop situation from what Billy Beane did. And if you're an A's fan, looking forward to next season, I sure am. See you guys later. Go Raiders, and I'll have a post-game video very late. I got to work probably on Sunday, so I won't be able to have a video immediately after the game, but sometime on Sunday evening, you expect a video to come. We'll see you guys later, and go Raiders.